machine is giving it a little feedback and causing it to read me talking when I'm not. Welcome in. Try some new things today that I've never done before. They don't look too hard. Well, one of them doesn't. We're gonna have to do some substituting too because I couldn't get ingredients today. I almost canceled. It was that bad. Four stores, no turmeric. Now from your TV. Oh, am I in the living room now? I found enough stuff that we can still do it. Still short a few things, but it'll be alright. I have to use the freezer supply today. I don't know what's going on. No chilies anywhere. 4 stores, even the Fufu store, nothing. They have a couple of wrinkled serranos, so I got those. Try to do a little bit of frying, shallow pan frying today. I don't normally do that. Just getting a couple of things ready here. I hope I don't run into any other surprises today. That's terrible. I realized last week that I went to pay bills and the bills weren't higher. They were actually lower than I expected them to be, so I figured something was up. Still working, popping in. Well, that's fine. Keep doing it. Okay. Hoping I can come visit sometime soon and see what you've been doing. Alright. I'm going to tilt you all a little bit closer to me. first recipe today is going to be our main recipe. This is a vegan Indonesian curry. It's not exactly some kind of traditional recipe. I took a look at it though. I like how it's built, so we're going to give it a shot. We got green beans. It's primarily green beans and tofu. So similar to red curry, but not exactly. We also have another one called oh boy, here we go. Butcher the holy living heck out of this. I apologize, but martabak telur, which is they refer to them as Indonesian meat and egg pancakes, but they're actually more like spring rolls. I, however, threw out all of the spring roll stuff after the last run because I decided that they were nasty and I didn't want to use them anymore. So I got some a little bit thicker stuff because these are going to be fried anyway. So I got something a little bit thicker that feels less like I'm rubbing latex. I got egg roll wrappers instead, so those should be a little bit better for this, especially for pan frying. The other ones out here would stick and fall apart. We got some sunflower oil too. Got a big old bottle of it. I was looking and I found out that apparently lemongrass can be substituted with kaffir lime. Now kaffir lime is harder to find, but I happen to have about a half a fistful left in the freezer, so the lemongrass shortage today, I'm just going to use that. I'm going to put our rice in the cook. Just skip that step. Alright, I think we're about ready to get started. I'm going to start this collection up from scratch. So here we are at the table. Now for the first part of this, we're going to make our curry paste. For this one, we're going to need about 3 to 4 shallots. And I am going to use up whatever we got from last time. And a couple of big ones that I managed to find. Now this was kind of getting lucky here. This was the last old one. These are brand new. So I got lucky that I found those. If I hadn't found that at the last minute, that would have been the cancellation because I just was missing too many ingredients. We need 4 cloves of garlic and some bird's eye chilies. I don't have any fresh ones, but I do have the frozen ones. So let's go ahead and get our garlic out here. I'm going to use one extra one because, you know. Bird's eye chilies and chili peppers. Okay. Bird's eye chilies. I have are still the frozen ones. So I'm going to have to go get some more of these sometimes in the near future. I hate to do it, but I'm going to have to keep freezing them because they are getting very difficult to find. When I do find them, I need them. So there we go. Bird's eye chilies. These are hot suckers. Now it says green chilies. I couldn't find any of any kind other than poblano peppers, which is goofy. I don't understand that. Actually, let's do this. Seriously, all I could find was poblano peppers, no joke. I did find, after visiting 4 stores, I found these serranos, but they are so embarrassing looking. This was the best I could find in the whole bag that they had. They're all wrinkled and old. That was all I could find. So that's what we're using. We need... Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I want to make sure I'm not using the wrong thing in the wrong place. Alright, so those were actually supposed to be red chilies. That's all I could find. We didn't have red ones either. We want 2 inches of fresh turmeric root. This was even worse to find. I found 2 pieces. We're just going to use what we got. I found 2 pieces of it hiding in a bin full of ginger. I noticed the color after digging through it a little bit. These are, of course, are orange, and they're a little darker. Now, we also need 2 teaspoons of ground coriander and a teaspoon of toasted cumin seeds. We are going to have to do a little bit of prep work today. So coriander, wherever it disappeared to, there we go. I need 2 teaspoons of this. The jar is almost empty. I'm going to have to fill it up again. I use this for curry a lot, so it tends to go pretty quickly. Luckily, I have a big bag of it. There's 2 teaspoons. Now we also need cumin seed. And we need about a teaspoon of toasted cumin seeds. We're going to have to pull out a little pan and heat these up, which is fine. No problem there. Next up, we need a half teaspoon of ground turmeric and some water, and that is what we're going to use just for the curry paste. We are making our curry paste. Where's my turmeric? There we go. So we need a half a teaspoon of just turmeric powder. There we go. And this is the first phase that we're going through today. Just the first phase. This one requires a bit of work here. Now our tofu, we are going to use 2 blocks. Oh, we're not. We're going to use 1 block. So this, we're going to have fried tofu, so this one's we're going to have to fry that separately. Then for the curry itself, we're going to need some coconut milk, ginger. And let's see, where's the coconut milk? Might have to go grab some. I forgot to get it. Just a second. Where might be one cabinet? Coconut milk, where are you? Okay, just a second. It's a good thing I prepped for stuff. We got one can left of coconut milk. So there we go, I've got one can. That's it. Normally I have about 3 or 4. Now, we have to have 2 lemongrass stalks, so this is where I'm going to do the substitution. I'm going to have to use kaffir lime as a substitute for lemongrass, and it's starting to get a little freezer dry. So I have to go buy some more. We need 2 to 6 bay leaves. And actually we need more lime leaves than that. What? There was an ad running. Damn it. We're just going to use the kaffir lime here as our substitute today. I may just have to go to using dried ingredients sometime soon, because it's getting to the point where I can't get things. Just have to order them. Alright. Next up, we need some lime leaves and some sugar and some salt. Well, I just put the limes down. Wait, what was I getting? Oh, bay leaves, yes. Bay leaves. We've got another recipe. The other recipe today is calling for fresh red chili peppers, spicy stuff, and can't get those either, so I'm going to have to use some dried ones. Since I'm using these big Indian ones, we'll use 4 instead of 6. One thing I've got is I've got a lot, and I mean a lot, of chili peppers here. I've got lots of chili pepper. Alright, we need 2 teaspoons of sugar and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then our green beans and some fried shallots for topping. So for our curry paste, we're going to be putting that into the blender. Let me get our green beans here and our salt. I actually got some fresh beans, some decent ones. So there we go. Those are not too bad. We'll probably use a little bit extra. And we need a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to use a little less. I always have to wipe these out every time I pick them up. Get dust in them. They always look like they've got dust and stuff in them. I think it's just the spices getting embedded. Salt. I'm going to use a little less than they asked for, of course. It's about half a teaspoon. Then we'll also, no, I've got some. We won't ask what this is. Okay, it's MSG. Fuyo. King of spice. Okay. You still need two teaspoons of sugar. I need to get those. Now, this is Indonesian, not Chinese, so we're not going to be using any soy sauce or anything. That's 1 teaspoon. That's 2. Alright, I believe that's it. There's no call on this one for ginger, so that ginger is going to be the substitute for the galang gal. So here we go. This is a pretty decent assortment right here for this one recipe. I will say that I spent about $80 today, so it was the cheapest. I am using a lot of my own stuff, so. We'll get our picture. I'm going to use the little cup blender today for some of this. I haven't used this in a while. Hey Titanium, welcome in. These little blenders are good for making sauces and things. I am working on an Indonesian style vegan curry right now. Vegan friendly curry. And we also are going to be making I'm going to try to make some martabak telur, which are Indonesian meat and egg pancakes is how it translates. These will be a Java style type dish. But I'm trying to cut down on salt and other things, so we're gonna do a little bit of vegan cooking today. vegan-friendly cooking, at least the first one. So I've got everything here. We're going to post this on our Discord. The rice is ready. Let me fluff that out real quick and we'll get started with slicing up some of our ingredients here. We don't want to cut it up too much because it's part of the appearance. I am cooking up some jasmine rice for this as well. And we'll let that sit while we're cooking. I am tired as heck, but we're doing pretty good here today, I think. Thank you for asking. So let's start off working our way backwards. We're going to get our beans trimmed, and probably don't need to do anything with these. These are part of the actual curry process. So I'm going to set these over on the side here. And we're going to focus on getting our beans trimmed and then getting our other curry paste recipe items prepped. Pull this back. Hey, yo, welcome in. In the citizen. I am too slow for most everybody to work. All right, we need about 14 ounces of these green beans here. For this particular recipe, this is about 1.5 pounds or 2 pounds here. So we're going to use a little bit extra. I'm going to start off by rinsing some of these off and then trimming them. Can you make it bigger? Make what bigger? The recipe? Oh yeah. Doing all right, Dio. Can't really adjust the camera though, that's what you're asking. It's difficult to do that here. These are pretty decent beans. They're kind of close to the original ones that you use, which are the long beans. The camera? No, I can't. I can try to zoom it a little bit. If I try to touch that boom, it'll fall over. But I can try to zoom in a little bit if you like. Let's see. Oh, thanks, Stream Elements, for doing that after all this time. I can't go too much closer. That's a pretty tight space. Meds? No, that's like 10 o'clock tonight. Thank you, though. All right, we're going to start with our green beans. We're going to get these all trimmed up and ready. They do feel a little dry. They've probably been sitting in the fridge for a while. We're going to use our veggie knife today. This is probably the part that's going to take the longest. Hope all of our friends up in north from here are having fun today, if you're out there. Sorry I couldn't be there. I can't really tell you that. I'll just say I'm in the South, in the U.S. Oh, and thank you for the follow as well. We do this cooking show once a week. For anybody that's new. Most every week. Depends on the week, but yeah, most every week. Just another big fistful from the sink here. Visit New York someday. I've been close to New York, not been in it. It's a big state. I'm going to assume city. Oh yeah, I'm in the U.S. I gotta be careful when I've got knives out, not to look at the screen too much. I have cut myself before. That was not a fun time here, especially with these Japanese knives. They'll take the finger off just as quick as they'll cut those beans. Gotta be careful. Oh, Finland, yeah. Okay, we've got some friends up there, yeah. I actually have several friends in various different places in those areas. There's also a couple from Iceland and Sweden as well. The background for the initial start on the stream was done by a friend of mine from Iceland. The happiest country in the world? I have seen that a couple of different times. Surely it wouldn't have anything to do with, I don't know, really good medical care and non-aggressive politicians. Surely. Unlike this place. Got the hyper-aggressive everything. It's a lot different than it used to be. I'm not super young. I remember when things were a little less rough out there. Three times in a row? Yeah, that's probably true. We don't want to make these too short, but we don't want to make them too long either for these cuts. Fresh beans are definitely better than using canned. You can use canned, but they are going to be mushy when you do it. If you can find the long beans, those are the best to to use for this. We don't have too many Asian stores here, so it's difficult for me to find them. Big taxes? Well, yeah. If the government is paying for everything, then the taxes have to pay for those things. I myself am actually an engineer. This is just my part-time gig for fun. It's looking pretty good. We'll grab a few more actually. Not a lot, but a few. No, you're fine. If anything, the only politics we really want to avoid is U.S. politics and anything kind of, violent to deal with. You're fine. You're absolutely fine. I've actually tried to do a few recipes from out that way. Most of them involve a lot of expensive ingredients though, so I haven't been able to do too many. I remember making one lamb dish. I can't remember what it is right now, but I did do one. I've made about, this is got to be coming up on 220 recipes now that we've done on this show. I try to do different ones frequently. Find different things that people like from different countries. That is a very good question because I've had people ask me that before, and I honestly can't think of anything particular that stood out significantly. I will say that some of the Peruvian dishes, like the taku taku no lomo, and the Icelandic langostino soup, which I can't remember the name of right now. Even though they were early ones, those were some of the better ones. I particularly like a lot of the Brazilian dishes that I've done. But since we started, we had to change over our format here last year because the cost of ingredients was getting so high. I've been trying to do these recipes. Okay. I've been trying to do these recipes to where I'm keeping the cost down to less than $100 US a week. Finished dishes, yeah. I can't remember right now. I'm sorry. I swear I've done one. It involved lamb, but I can't remember what it was. And I might be mixing that up with Denmark, to be honest. Because it's been a little while. It's been quite a while. I remember there was too much salt, too much sugar, and I had to kind of avoid a lot of them. I have a problem with salt, and I can't have a lot of it. That's why you see me using MSG substitutes and things like that. Now these peppers, we are going to gut them. Serranos are particularly potent, and we don't want this dish to be overpowered by the peppers. We want it to have some punch, but we don't want it to be really bad, really strong. So I'm going to take out most of the seeds. Can't handle spice. No, it was I just don't remember offhand. I could check the Discord in a few minutes after we get the first thing simmering, because I posted most all of our recipes there, so everybody else can use them if they wish. There are some countries that use specific things pretty frequently. Like Portugal and their salted cod. Hey Ashton, welcome in. How are you doing? So much salted cod. Love you, Dio. Alright, I am just going to cut these since they're going to be visible in the dish. Well, no, these won't be visible. I'm sorry. This is part of the sauce, so we're just going to kind of trim them down a little bit so that they blend easier. These peppers are not just spicy, they have a lot of heat to them. Alright, there we go. These peppers, however, are very spicy and you need to be careful with them. I'm just going to cut them and slit them. We're going to leave the seeds in them. It only called for 2. I'm probably putting in too much, but we'll see. I like hot stuff. Okay, next up is our turmeric. This is going to be, it wanted a 2-inch piece. That's about a 2-inch piece right there. Don't touch your eyes. Yeah. I have cut those peppers and washed my hands 10 times, and every single time, somehow or another, I get burned. But yet I can eat them raw without a problem. This is our turmeric root. I'm just going to use a spoon to strip off some of the skin. We're not really going to take all of it off, I don't think. This was very difficult for me to find today. I don't know why, but it was. Normally I see it on the shelf everywhere. I've actually not really used fresh root before. This is one of the first times. That has kind of an earthy smell to it. It doesn't smell the same as the pepper. I'm going to chop this up a little bit so that it'll blend easier. I can tell somebody that's a carrot. there we go. Now we've got these three ready. Now we're going to smash up our garlic here. Since I'm using a Japanese vegetable knife, I'm not going to really be able to put a lot of pressure on it. Yeah. Someone took advantage of my moment of weakness and has ordered me a Chinese cleaver. We'll see how that goes soon enough. This garlic is a little bit dry, and I usually have to trim off the top end of it to get it to let go of the skin. That's why I always use a little bit extra. You see how hard that is? It's very, very dry. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. All right, there we go. And this is going in the paste as well, so we can just rough chop it because we're putting it in the blender. Hey, Calico, welcome in. Yeah, I saw it. I'm just going to ignore that one. Okay, next up. Are we putting all of that shallot in there? Yeah, we are putting all of that shallot in there. That's going in there. Okay. Let me get a little bigger bowl for that. I'm going to break off a bigger piece of garlic because trying to smash that little tiny one, I was going to get my fingers. There we go. Hopefully these aren't getting too old. They feel like they dried up a little bit. Looks like they're okay though. For some reason, shallots are not on the endangered list today too. I couldn't find any. I had to go to 4 stores to find these. They're normally much more common. What do I do after this one? Okay, the one after this one is the martabak telur, which is the meat and egg pancakes, as they call it, which essentially are just going to be meat and egg rolls. It'll be a little flat. So that's from Bali. I was actually watching a Bali street food video last night, and I was thinking about it. I'm going to try to pick out next week if I have time, try to pick out about 10 or 15 more recipes so that I can get ahead of the curve. Because we've been behind a little bit lately. Good golly. These are not like onions. You can't just peel the whole layer off. Come on, you silly thing. The skin is so thin. There we go. First one done. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to slice it thin rings. Because again, this is going in the blender. Be back later? Okay. It was good seeing you. Hey, dude, welcome in. We are working on some curry right now, if you're just getting here. Indonesian curry. This is not exactly a traditional recipe. It's got a few substitutes in it, a few other things. I don't know what the original one was, but we're using tofu for this one. It very likely was chicken. We're about ready to get started here on the main part. As soon as I get this, these shallots peeled. The skin is just super, super thin and it's just tearing instead of popping off like usual. You can't smash it like garlic. Though I say that, I haven't actually tried it. Did it help? Nope. I tried. Alright, they help a little bit. Again, in this case, we're turning this into curry paste, so it's fine if we smash it up a little bit. There we go. So there are the primary ingredients for our curry paste for this one. I am also going to try to make some fried shallots as well. These recipes today are going to be very shallot heavy. So we're going to dump this into our cup blender. along with our garlic. That's a lot of garlic. Turmeric, root, pepper, chili pepper, bird's eye chilies, and then our powders. Now, I've got to do one other thing first, and we got to toast out some of these seeds. Give you a follow over on Blue Skies. Oh, okay, well, thank you. Appreciate that. We are, after a couple of years now, we are actually getting ready to cross the 1,000 mark here. I'm not sure what to do about that. Alright, so these powders go in here. This coriander and turmeric powder along with our veggies here. It's been a long road, and because I can't do, these 8-hour streams, it takes a lot longer for me to get the numbers up like that. I'm not really concerned about them, but it's just nice to see. Alright, one thing we're going to do is we're going to gently try to toast these seeds before we put them in there. So I'm going to switch over to the stove for just a couple of minutes. And we're just going to take a small, shallow pan. And we're going to heat it gently. Kind of a medium-low heat, and we're just going to gently toast these until they become aromatic. So I'm going to show you this process. I normally just do it and then go on from there, but we don't have a whole lot of stuff today, so this is a good chance to learn. 3 minutes? Oh my God. Hey Doggo, welcome in. Oh my goodness, what an ad system, I swear. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do 2 things here as part of this prep work. We're going to try to do this a little bit more correctly, as the best I can come up with. We're going to toast our seeds, and we're also going to boil our tofu in a little bit of salt water before we start drying it out, because you want it to be as dry as you can to be able to fry it. So I'm going to do both of those things at once here. The best way to do that is to put some salt water just set it down in there for about 2 or 3 minutes and let it boil a little bit. How are you doing, doggo? Something got on that back burner. All right, so our temperature here is about 4.5 on this pan. This is for our seeds. We're just going to toast them a little bit. Until they're a little bit aromatic. That's all you need to do. It won't take long. You want to keep them moving. Yep, all right, that's it. That was it. That's literally all you have to do. Now, our tofu, we're going to boil it for a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to go ahead and start up this plant melt ring. You like to move it, move it. You like to move it, move it. I'm going to get our cut blender going here. Yeah. I thought it was going to take a little bit of water. All right. Looking good so far. That is our curry paste. Our homemade curry paste. It's almost as if the longer I watch it, it boils faster. You'd think that. I'm using an extra firm organic tofu for this one today. I'm not sure what kind of difference that makes, but there you go. It's kind of funny because all the other types of tofu they have are all one brand, and the extra firm is just a completely different brand. I'm going to spider this in gently because these will come apart on you if you're not careful. Even the extra firm. few things off real quick here. We want to make sure this is actually boiling before we actually go into it. Because we've got to make sure our tofu is nice and dry before we try to fry it. Of course, it's not really dry, but it's as dry as you can get it. Now, I don't like the idea of boiling my fingers, so we're going to set that down just like that. Put those in. We're going to let those boil in that salt water for a couple of minutes. Pull these out, we're just going to let them sit and cool off. You don't want to mess with them while they're hot. We got 2 more steps in this one. Hey, gentle, welcome back. Tofu, and we've already made our Indonesian curry paste here. We just finished doing the first part with the toasting and seeds and such. Now I've got our kaffir lime and coconut milk and other things ready. And I'm gonna, while we're doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and pull off some ginger. We can't use God on cloud. I know, I'm sorry for Roger. Now it's finally boiling. It takes forever on this stove, I swear. I've done with this one before that. Chopping up some ginger right now. I'm going to make it a little rough. But not too much. Hey, Ben. How you doing? Oh, you missed it. I dropped the green bean earlier. And a piece of turmeric. What are the microorganisms? Those can be food. So my point still stands. Okay. I missed something. Wait a minute. How about you put some of that deliciousness on the floor? Okay. I didn't actually miss anything there. I figured as much. Alright, we probably don't need to boil this too much longer here. So we're going to gently pull that out. You can see it's got more of a jello texture to it. But it will steam right out. All right, there we go. So there's our boiled tofu. Now, this tofu has got, it's going to be dried out before we fry it. The frying part will come next. We're going to do that in our other pan today. We got to pat it down first. Squeeze it. I'm going to switch you over here just a second. It looks like too good. Yeah. All right, we're back over here. I've zoomed in just a little bit per request. So this is our curry mix that we just made. Curry paste. Oh my goodness. That has a pretty distinct smell to it. These are still the best scrapers I've ever had. There's a little bit of water in it, but that'll cook out. This has a fairly strong odor to it. I'm sure that's because of all the chilies I added to it. Got a nice paste, but not too thick texture to it, you can see. That'll soak in quite nicely. Our little cup blender did a good job. Don't use it too much. All right, let's get our tofu dried out. As you can see, it's still pulling water out. It's still wet. All that salt water is pulling it right out. I'm just going to set it down here on a clean towel. set them down in here. Yes, they're still very hot. Be careful. I'm not quite to the point where I can just grab the bowl out of the rice cooker, but I've advanced. My fingers are a little more numb than they used to be. Alright. This is going pretty well so far. Let's hope that everything else goes today. We're just going to gently squeeze it. Try to get as much water soaked out as we can. The towel is definitely getting wet, so we're getting it out. See that? Can you see the moisture in there? Alright, so it looks like those are about ready. And we're going to fry these in kind of a couple of stages. We don't want to overdo it. But I wanted to set these out like this so we can put some salt, pepper, and cayenne on them. We're going to season it just a little bit. We're going to do it right here on the towel. Gonna add that little bit of extra. It wasn't really part of the original. But they're making a hot curry, so it'll help them soak it up. They're definitely firming up pretty quick. Get those into a bowl. These will be much less likely to fall apart while we're frying them now. Do you have a fan running? Yes. The fan on the stove is running. Hey, Wheelie, welcome in. Hello. Okay. Throw that in the wash. Now, we're getting down to our last stage here. Last two stages. How are you doing today, Willie? As I said, this one was going to be a little bit of work today. So we've got our sugar, we've got our salt, we've got our MSG, we've got our kaffir lime, and we have our bay leaves, and we have a can of full-fat coconut milk. So what we're going to do is the final stage now. We're going to start frying up our tofu, and then we're going to put this in along with our other stuff. We do need to fry our curry. Oh wow, that sucker's solid. That has got a lot of coconut in it. Oh boy. Where's the milk? It's all coconut. Oh, it's down there. Okay. I'll have to mix it in a little bit. This one's thick. There we go. That is heavy stuff. And believe it or not, this is actually the store brand. And the store brand is better than the imported one. You're back? What are we doing now? We are getting ready to make the actual curry. We're about to start frying our tofu here in just a minute. Then we're going to pull that off and start frying our new curry paste, and then start adding everything back in to finish it. So we're getting down towards the end here. Okay. So this next part is where we're going to spend a little bit of time, because we're going to have to fry our tofu and then simmer our other ingredients for about 20-25 minutes before we add in our tofu to finish and our beans. Because the beans only take a couple of minutes to cook. So because there is so much of this, I'm thinking that frying pan is not going to hold it. So I'm going to use our stainless pot for this instead. Here we go. Sneezing and stuffed up nose. Uh-oh. I hope that's not going to turn into something bad. We'll fry our tofu with our nonstick. We'll let that start warming up here. We'll see. I'm fairly certain we can't do it, but we'll try. I'm sorry, Wheelie. I hope you feel better soon. This curry paste has a couple of distinct smells to it. I'm going to bring everything over to the stove now. We're going to do the main part. Do be sure you get your pan pretty much hot before you start adding oil to it. I'm going to grab a drink real quick. I've been sick in years. Wow. Actually, that was true of me too until the COVID thing hit. And then I ended up getting that after about 3.5 to 4 years. And I've been sick a couple times since then. I guess that comes with the territory of getting a little bit older, though. Alright. Our next recipe after this one is going to be a bit of an adventure. I've also got a few other things I got to do today. Not really part of this. We're going to try to fry some shallots. We're also going to, well, I'm going to freeze, I'm going to mix some sliced strawberries and freeze them. I found that the fresh strawberries were on sale because they were getting close to their end dates, so I bought a couple boxes of them. I'm going to slice them up and pat them dry and put them up in the freezer. I'm frequently sitting online during streams and just kind of sort of eating them, along with pineapple and other things as well. All right, here we go. We're going to add in about a tablespoon or a little bit more of our olive oil. We don't want this to get too hot. We're going to let our oil heat up until it starts shimmering just a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to clean my cups out again. I've got one more recipe today. Normally I try to do 3, but I just was struggling to get enough ingredients for 2. I don't know what's up with today. Today has been a cursed day. Once this starts simmering, we'll come back and we'll pick up a few of the other things that we need to do. All right, we got a good coating on the bottom here. Now let's remember, once you put the tofu on, you don't want to move it around too much. That is not hot enough yet. It's getting there though, pretty quick. Now we need to let them sit for just a minute or two so that they'll curl up just a little bit and release off the bottom. Otherwise they're going to get stuck. And if they get stuck, they'll start tearing. It seems like it's a little bit low. I'm going to bump the heat up just a hair. Yep, okay. Good. I want to bring the heat up a little bit hotter. It's not quite hot enough, I don't think. normally when I see them doing this, they're putting it down into a wok and basically submerging them and deep frying them. And I'm trying to kind of avoid that. I shouldn't be eating that kind of stuff. Is the music still playing? It looks like it's stopped. I hate it when it does that. There we go. Now they're starting to fry. That's looking better. Yeah, I better get a plate for that. We're going to pull those off and then put in our other ingredients to start cooking those. But we want our tofu to be mostly fried. Kind of golden brown on both sides. All right. All right, clean up while I get over here. Guess that pot's gonna have to be scrubbed. A little bit more. We gotta firm up this tofu. It's almost done. Oh, music got loud. Crispy ASMR. I mean, you're not too wrong there. With all those green beans and everything else, I really don't think this pan, as big as it is going to hold all that. We're probably going to have to transfer it over to the steel pot. And I'm fine with that. That's fine. It's like it learned your ear directly over spiky water. Okay. See how it's starting to get that nice little golden color to it? Hello, Titanium. Welcome back. I think we're about done with that, so we're going to call that there. Lightly fried. Next up is our curry paste. And that got a very strong odor very quickly. Oh my goodness. I'm going to turn that temperature down just a little bit. Have to go to sleep now? Yeah, I'm sure you do. It's pretty late. Thank you for coming by today and appreciate the follow. I'll be posting the pictures online soon as well. We're only going to cook this for a couple of minutes here. Probably not even that long. I'm already starting to smell it. Trying to boil a little bit of the water out. Where do I post them? On Blue Sky, our Discord, and on what was Twitter. If you'd like to join the Discord, you're welcome to do so. The link under the stream is active. You just need to let us know you're there, and we can add you right in. I also post the recipes in Discord, so if anybody wants to try to make one of these recipes, they can just pick it right up from there. All of the social links should be valid underneath the stream. Alright, I think we're about ready to add our other stuff. Here's our coconut milk. As much as I don't like this particular store chain, this one item that they make is actually very good. Let me get that mixed in. All right, that's looking pretty good. It's strong. All right, we're gonna add what should be our galangal, but this is gonna be ginger today. While this is getting up to a simmer. And we're gonna add our bay leaves and our kaffir lime. And our little bit of salt and MSG. might be able to make it. All right. From here, this is going to just sit in here. We're going to let that simmer for about 20 or 30 minutes while we work on the next one. So I'm going to get that up to a simmer, and then we'll switch over and start the next one. I'm just going to rinse a little bit here because our next one we're going to have has beef and eggs in it, which I need that pan for. Okay. I'll finish washing these and move it. Just a few minutes. Hey, Dreadmore, welcome in. Just got done eating a seafood medley ramen while watching a kitchen cooking battle from Sorted Foods. Well, at least you don't get hungry while you're watching. That helps, right? I've had plenty of people tell me that I make them hungry all the time, and I'm going to take that as a compliment. Oh, we got a little bit of a simmer going on. All right, we're going to transfer this because I need this frying pan in a few minutes. We're going to transfer this over to our pot here. Get my scraper. I love this pan. It just wipes right off. All right, there we go. Now, we're going to move this over to the smaller burner and then come back over to our table, and we'll start working on our next one here. All right. Let's switch over here and set our timer. Alright, we're going to let that simmer for about 25 minutes or so. Oh, okay. Actually, I take that back. I'm going to go ahead and dump in the green beans and the tofu now. And then we'll start. simmer all those wonderful flavors in. All right, next up, we're going to work on our martabak telur. This one's going to require a couple of stages as well. We're also going to need to fry up some shallots as well. We'll do that secondly. So we have 2 stages on this one. We've got to make our vinegar sauce, and we've got to make our filling for our filling for the inside of the pockets. We're going to use these. We use egg roll wrappers for this. They're a little thicker than what they called for, but we're going to use those for this. Actually, I'm not getting any store-bought medley. Well, you get plenty of variety in different sizes. The individual pieces makes proper cooking very difficult. Better off getting them individually and cutting into sizes. Yeah, that's usually what I end up doing with everything myself. All right, for this one, we are going to need. We'll start off with our ingredients here. So we're going to need our spring roll wrappers, which I've got there, olive oil, and we're going to use ground beef and white onion for this one. I'm calling for 11 ounces, but I've got about a pound here. White onion. 5 cloves of garlic and 5 green onions. There's our green onions. Five cloves of garlic and a tablespoon? Yeah, a tablespoon of curry powder. Okay. Start right back up again. Five cloves of garlic. Bad at counting, right? That looks like 5 to me. Alright. 1 tablespoon of curry powder and 5 eggs. Now this is the store-bought curry powder that you normally see grocery store. One tablespoon happens to be 3 teaspoons, so we'll need 6 of these. tablespoons of sugar. Salt and pepper to taste, of course. That is the main part of the filling for this. We'll be frying these in shallow oil. Let me check on our other recipe going here. That is looking and smelling a lot like green curry to me. Might have accidentally green curry. Alright. For our vinegar sauce, we're going to use a little bit of brown sugar, some hot water, a clove of garlic, and a carrot, and as well as 3 shallots. Now, they probably mean the small ones, so that's where I'm going to switch over to just 2 of these instead of that massive one. Let's grab a carrot. I spoiled here. The leeks I get are twice the thickness of those. Well, those aren't leeks. Those are green onions. What was that called? Carrots. There is a difference. Alright. 1 carrot. How do you get sources of it or pulled out? Oh, yeah. There is a difference. Yeah. We need a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, another clove of garlic, cucumber, and it's supposed to have a green chili in it, but we don't have any. So I'm going to use a jalapeno out of the freezer because I couldn't get any today. So let me get that sugar. I did end up placing our colorful plastic ones with these metal ones because they broke. Alright. The question is where the brown sugar is because it's been a long time since I've used it. Honestly, I'm just going to use this. I've got coconut palm sugar. Which will be a little different. Most of these recipes end up using this kind of sugar anyway, rather than just plain brown sugar. There we go. Carrot or shallots and the cucumber go with that recipe. There's basically 2 recipes right here. Okay. Green chili. Okay. So, I tend to only use these when they're being cooked. But today we don't have much of a choice. So I'm going to have to use frozen ones. That's why I keep these around, just in case incidents like this. I'll buy a couple extra and then put them in the freezer. Half cup of hot water. chili. And we need some vinegar for that, I believe. Yeah, 3 tablespoons of vinegar. It doesn't, however, say what kind of vinegar. I will assume white vinegar. Our other curry is cooking a little fast, so I'm going to cut the temperature down. It looks quite nice, but we want it to simmer, not boil. So our choices for vinegar sauce is rice vinegar or white vinegar. I'm not sure about this one. Anybody want to put any input on that one? Should we use the rice vinegar or should we use the white vinegar? The rice vinegar is going to be a little more mild. This isn't going to be cooked, so it'll be less acidic. Kind of leaning towards using the rice vinegar. It doesn't really say. Alright. I'm going to use the rice vinegar. For that one we need 3 tablespoons. We use 3 tablespoons of this rice vinegar. It's probably more appropriate considering the dish. Okay. I believe that is it. Salt and pepper, of course, always. I don't even put that in our pictures. So let's get a picture of this and we'll get started because we got a little bit of work to do here. These are not going to be the easiest thing to make either. It won't be bad. Alright. I'm going to take our sugar and our vinegar here. Set this aside. Along with our veggies and peppers and onions here for the sauce, vinegar sauce. The reason I'm going to do that is because I want those peppers to have a chance to thaw out. Garlic goes with that too, I do believe. No. Okay. Finely chopped garlic, finely chopped 5 green onions, finely chopped. Okay. Alright, we'll start with those. Rinse these off. From the looks of it, this recipe was translated, so there's a few things missing. I'm just going to have to use experience here and go for understanding. Cut these tips off. They tend to be dry here. There's our 5 green onions. We have about 9 minutes left on the other one. We'll stir that one up real quick. And we'll get our white onion. With all that kaffir lime, I swear up and down it smells like Thai green curry to me. This is our sugar. This goes with our other one. Curry powder stays with this one. A little smash. Probably shouldn't do that with that knife. When those new knife, when that new knife shows up, I'll probably use the Chinese techniques a little more. I'm not going to use those tiny little bits. So we're going to cut this up pretty finely. That didn't work. That's what I get for borrowing that technique. I'm gonna have to go grab another one. I think throw some of that out. It's fine. We've still got plenty. Garlic we have. I'm watching things and not doing what I'm supposed to. Let me grab one more. Still got 2, 3 left. Plus a whole one. Really? Okay. You do it the Chinese method, I'll do it with the Chinese method. It is faster. Okay. The other one went flying across the floor somewhere. I'm gonna have to go find it. Yeah, that's about done. It's only got about 3 or 4 more minutes. All right, so we're gonna mix in garlic and onion together. We're gonna fry that for a little while until it softens up and the onion becomes a little translucent. Then we add our hamburgers to it. Cook that. That's the first part. It didn't quite cut through the top all the way. Is that for a reason? Supposed to make it easier to do this. Nope, it didn't make it easier. Oh well. This board's a little small for this onion. Oh, of course this onion's strong. I get yellow onions and they're half rotten. I get a white onion and it'll burn your eyes right out. Woo. Alright, I've turned the heat off the other dish. It's ready, more or less. Music stopped again? Oh my god. Yes, I'm still here. Keep playing. Eat that. That's why I turned the heat off. Yeah, I don't like this method. I'm not going to do that again. That was kind of close. Alright. There's that. Now, let me check ahead, make sure I'm not missing something. On these new recipes, I always try to follow them as close as possible. And then I make modifications later. The only modifications I'll make in hand are ones for salt content. Alright, we do need to go ahead and beat our eggs. Go ahead and do that. We're going to mix that in the beef after it's finished for the most part. This is our filling for the wrappers. I know it's a little different. That's definitely different today. Beat it, go right ahead. Ah, come on. If you hit your eggs on a flat surface, they're less likely to splinter. Unlike what I just did. Dang it. There we go. Alright. I picked up something new a little while back. Maybe now's a good time to test it. Hello. Oh, I recognize that you. Hello, welcome in. Oh my gosh, you're raiding kid. Hello. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you all doing? Hold on just a second. Oh, you got it? Okay, DM. I was getting ready to do that. Thank you so much. Welcome in, Raiders. How are you all doing today? Thank you so much. What are we doing? We're just chatting. Okay. I got to admire somebody that can do that for hours on end. Welcome in. Hello, everyone. If you all don't know me, I am Firecap. We're here today doing our. Oh,
this is the perfect time for me to.
Really? Working on your car. Okay. Y'all got here just in time for the commercials. I'm sorry. Hold on just a second. Two minutes. Oh boy. Oh no. Come on, hurry up. I'm just waiting on the ads. I'm sorry. Hurry up. Finally! Oh my gosh, why? Why do we have to have these ads? Oh, I'm so sorry. Welcome in, Raiders, if there's anybody left after that. We do these cooking streams most every week. There are some times when I'm taking a break, but usually we're here. And this week we're working on 2 Indonesian dishes. The first one is cooling off right now. It's a kind of very similar to Thai green curry is the best way I can describe it. The second one is the one we're working on right now. This is a recipe called Martabak Telur, which is a Javanese recipe from Indonesia. We're making, basically it's, I'm going to shallow pan fry some meat and egg wraps. That's basically what they are. So we were in the process of doing this when y'all raided in, and then it decided to throw commercials right at us. So my apologies for the timing. Anyway, we do a little bit of this and that here. I've been recently working on fixing technical issues as well as learning how to do new things with the streaming stuff. I've been at this for about 3 years now. A little slow, I guess. In any case, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. I know I've been in your stream before, once or twice here and there. And we are about to actually start this one. So you got here, at least at this point, it's a good time to start. So we are going to switch over back to our pan. and I'm going to start working on our main part of this recipe. So thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate it. Ugh. So let's switch over to the stove. And I'll get you repositioned here. Our other one is finished now and is starting to cool down. This is green bean and tofu curry. I'm going to keep it covered over here on the side for the time being. We're going to heat our pan up here and start frying up our onions and garlic and then our ground beef. So what's up with the car? Is this the actual car, the IRL car? Because I've wanted to do a few things like that, but I thought it was kind of intimidating to try and stream it. If you're still here. Dang those ads. I had them set to where they were only like 30 seconds every hour, but now it reset itself and I can't do anything about it. Minutes is just too much. It's simply too much. Our pepper, our curry powder, our salt and sugar go in all at one time with it. Then the green onions. About to get started. This is going to take about 2 tablespoons of olive oil for this one. Oh. Dang ads. All right, that's fairly close, so we're going to go ahead and start now. Alright, we're going to let this cook for a minute or two before we put in everything else. The garlic will go in next, but you don't want to put the garlic and the onion in at the exact same time. It tends to cook just a little faster, so we'll give it a minute. Tito. So start to soften up. Now we can add our garlic. We're going to let those cook for a minute or two. And then we'll start adding the next one. Man, sorry about those ads. That was so good. I'm getting a picture right now of our final for this one. Here's how this one came out. We're going to see how the other one goes. Alright, it's starting to fry up a little bit here. Let's go ahead and get our beef in and our spices. This is our curry powder. And a little bit of sugar. Salt. And pepper. We might need to add a little oil to this. This beef is kind of lean. We're going to have a tough time mixing it if we don't have a little bit of moisture there. We don't want it too wet because in a wrap type situation, it's going to soak through. You don't want that. Let that cook for a minute or two. Oh, we need to add in our green onion too. It's not going right, is it? Everything is brother is not trying to fight me. Smelling a bit of cinnamon here, which is interesting. Okay, that was supposed to smell like cinnamon. Must be the curry powder. Alright, next up we're going to add in our eggs. We are not turning off the heat right now. Alright, that is what we're gonna, that's where we stop on this part. Next up, we gotta let that cool off. So before we start using our egg roll wrappers and all. So I'm gonna pull this off the stove and switch back over here and we'll start making our vinegar mix. Hopefully nothing else goes weird today. Alright, so this is where we're going to start working on these. I'm going to peel our carrot here. Peel that candy off. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put our end off. We're going to see how it's rolling. We don't want it to roll, so what we're going to do is we're just going to cut off that edge. Like this. Set it down. And we're going to cut it in half. This allows us to be able to come through thin strips. You only need half of this carrot for this. Very small. What's fares? Or you can just buy julienne carrots. I think that probably is enough. We'll see here in a second. If I need more, I'll get it. All right. We are going to need a half cup of hot water for this as well. I'm going to get that here in just a second. We're going to peel part of our cucumber. And we're going to trim up our peppers here. They're going to be a little soft because we had them in the freezer. Unfortunately, it's all we've got. I would prefer to use fresh. Not going to keep any seeds. Still quite cold. Hey, Vermintide. Been a little while. How you doing? I'll get that in just a second. This is going to be pickling itself. We add in our vinegar. Hot water. I'll add the sugar in a minute. Need to get a little bit of our cucumber here. Get busy with your own thing? Yeah, so it's not me. Well, we just finished our first one, which is a Indonesian curry. This one's already finished here. It's very, very green, and we have tofu and all. I just finished making the inside of these wrappers that we're making. You see these egg roll wrappers we got right here? I just made the interior part of that, and I'm making the vinegar dip, the pickle dip that goes with it right at the moment while that's cooling off, because we can't put that in the wrappers while it's hot. The first one is basically just a variation on another one, and I honestly don't know what the other one is. The second one is a Javanese one, and it is called Martabak Telur. We've got a couple more ingredients to put in here into this pickling juice that we just made. I'm going to gut the seeds out of this with a spoon. Yep. And this one we're going to cut into thin strips as well. Man, we need half of this. Pickling juice mix is good for about 3 to 5 days in the fridge, but it'll probably continue to pickle the longer it sits. I think we might have enough there. We still got to add shallots to it. Might just have to add a little more vinegar and a little more water to it as well. I put rice vinegar in this. We actually need to dissolve this sugar in here. Not too bad so far, right from when I woke up. Yeah, you know what? We've been having problems too. I couldn't find half the ingredients. I ended up having to go to 4 stores. My back's killing me, and I got a headache from this weather. And Boo Boo was having trouble too. hour. It's been ridiculous. It's just terrible all over today. I don't know what the problem is. At least I'm able to make dinner here, right? I think my substitutes work pretty well. Say it's cold. Yeah, exactly. Try to keep these cuts very thin. Yeah, today it's like 50 something. It's supposed to get down to like 30 tonight. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be like 70. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's 49 over here? Yeah. Yeah, 60. Yeah. Same. I don't even know what it's supposed to be tomorrow. I think it's 30 something, and then it's supposed to be 70 the next day. Alright, there's our pickling mix, and I really think that we need a little more juice in that one. Also DST. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think we're going to go ahead and add a little more of this cucumber to this. I'm going to do it like this though. Little cucumber bits. There's literally no room for it. I'm gonna have to add a little bit. So I'm gonna add a little bit of our rice vinegar to this. A little more hot water. I think that'll probably do it. That'll probably do it. Oh boy. And we're still not down to the next part yet. We got one more part to do tonight. So that pan I used for the filling is full, so I'm going to use one of our Blacklock pans for our frying part. We're going to heat that up pretty high. We're going to add some sunflower oil to it. We lose an hour. Yeah. Well, it's not like I get more than 3 or 4 anyway, so that's cool. Just so you know, this is where we're going here. I'm going to start heating this up. Oh, you know what? We probably should make our wraps first. I'm telling you, I'm getting tired. Hold on. Let's do that part. It's just like, oh yeah, we're done. No, we're not. All right. I'm going to get a bigger board out. Make some room here. Get a big board out. And our egg roll wrappers here. Here is our filling that we made a little while ago with beef and eggs and onions. Probably going to end up needing some egg wash, but we'll see. Hey, welcome in. Kojima, is it? Oh, Norway. Wow. Welcome in. How are you doing today? Or I guess late tonight for you. I'm going to try to roll this a little tighter. Yeah, I think we're going to need a little egg wash for these. Probably fill them a little more. Let me grab one more egg. All these full over containers now, it's hard to get anything open. I'll make some egg wash. I actually got this little stick blender here for use with making soups and things. But it came with that attachment, so I thought I'd use it. Okay. Now, the music stopped again. Ah, drunk. Oh, Duncan Tipsy. Okay. Let's see. Where'd you go? I'll restart it. So this is the first time I've made this. Just gonna put a little egg wash on there. Roll that right up so it'll seal. I'll try to make the next one a little bigger. That sounds like a good idea. The way today's been. These are fairly thick. They're a little thicker than our egg roll wrappers are. Or, sorry, the spring roll wrappers. We'll make this one a little heavier. That over. Probably go ahead and egg wash the ends. We're going to pan fry these. Oh, that's better. That is better. Yeah, that's better. Try to keep this dry. This is a curried beef and onion mixture. A little bit of kaffir lime and such. Green onion. Let's see if it's easier if I do it this way. Got it. We'll get a plate for these. We're going to try to pan fry them here in a few minutes. I think it's going to work. Do the same thing again. I'm just going to go ahead and just egg wash it first. Probably easier that way. supposed to get about 8 of these from this mix. But I did cook 40% more beef than was requested. So I'm not going to cook half of a pound of beef. So we'll probably get a little more. What are we drinking? Alright, we're gonna do the same thing again. If you're gonna make egg wash, usually only one egg's all you need. I know it doesn't look like much, but you can see that we're just spreading a very thin layer on there. Do be careful you're not hitting it with the edge of the spoon in the pan either. You don't want to scrape any of your coating off. Yeah. Got 5 so far. Looking pretty good. Take your time. That's 6. I think we are going to get 8. Not bad. That's 7. I think we're going to get it. I'm going to try to stuff all of it in the last one. This might be a trick. That definitely tastes like curried eggs. Maybe that's a little spicy. That's good. Okay, can we close this monstrosity? Can we do it? Just gonna stuff my fingers in there for a minute. There we go. One mega burrito of this stuff. Okay, there we go. We did it. We got the count right too. Okay, next up is our pan fry. So now we're back over here with our black block. I'm going to use some high temperature oil. We're just going to get it covered fairly well, not too deep. For this, you're going to probably have to use a thermometer. I know I'm going to. Got most of it in the dishwasher. Not bad. I don't have my infrared anymore, it broke. So we'll have to do it with our probe. I probably should get a... Yeah, there we go. I'll add a little bit more. That's about a 1/4 inch deep, maybe a little deeper. We're actually already almost there. Almost. like I'm going to need batteries too. Hey, so more. Welcome in. Hello. And thank you so much for the raid. I didn't hear anything. Oh my gosh. You're up late. Welcome in, Raiders. How are you all doing? We're right down at the last part of our stream today. Came in right at the end while we were doing our last dish. Welcome in. For those that haven't been here before, we do a cooking stream here on Saturdays. And do a bit of a variety the rest of the week.
Oh, il a ragé. Il a ragé. Le pauvre mon frère, le manche, il a ragé. Allez, combien d'acheter tu veux? Oh,
Look at that. Look how fast that cooks. Okay, there we go. Now we've got our temperature balanced. I definitely don't suggest doing more than 2 at a time here. They're going to cook pretty quickly. You got to roll them since it's in a shallow pan. That's twice today. Like I said, you don't want to leave it on here long, only a minute or two. you doing, Raiders? I'm sorry, I just focused on not burning myself. How are you all doing tonight? Claire, hello! Yeah, be careful about that. Doing this is more dangerous than deep frying. You gotta be very careful. You also need to know your stove and your oil and everything else. I know that this oil has a smoke point right at the point where I want it to be for cooking. That is it. It took a lot longer to make them than it did to finish them, didn't it? So let's switch back over here. Still in VR? Okay. So we've got our now golden fried what was it again? Martabak Talur. And we've got our, what I'm affectionately not trying to call green curry here. But it is green curry. So not bad at all. Let me get this off the heat. That's good for the pan too. Turn that off. We are done tonight. Well, this was an interesting run. I'm definitely interested in tasting that green bean and tofu curry. That was an interesting one, especially since we made the curry paste from scratch. I've never done that before. That's the first time I've done that. So, let's go see about our wall of love for tonight. We've had a lot of people come in tonight. I really appreciate that. Let's start with Whoopie. I never have learned how to pronounce that. With the rate of 7 earlier. And Titanium, thank you so much for the follow as well. And Sobor, thank you for the raid tonight as well. I really appreciate that. It's good to see everybody here, and I always enjoy doing this. You gotta eat, you might as well learn about new things and find some interesting things, right? Alright, I'm thinking, how about some VR chat Olympics, as it were? Let's see, it's that should work. Yep, that worked. So as for a raid message tonight, if you have my emotes, use them. If you don't, that's okay. You're welcome to use whatever you got. We're just going to go with our standard for these streams. You're welcome to get a copy and cut and paste it into chat if you like. We're going to head on over to Axel. Axel's working on, looks like VR Chat Olympics, as he calls it. I saw him doing this last year. I think I even tried to get into it for a little while, but it's just requires a big commitment, and I don't have the time. So, really appreciate seeing everybody here tonight. I really hope that y'all have a great weekend. I hope all my friends up north right now have a good time too. I will see you all on the flip side, and I might be doing some more cooking in Discord tomorrow. I'm not sure. We've got a few things left over here. We got a few things we need to freeze and a few other things. So, have a great night, everybody. Stand by for raid.